right. Hello. Oh, the let me just adjust that camera real quick. There we go. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Um, yeah, we're waiting for the Starlink launch today. How are you all? I see a lot of people. I've been watching the chat for, I don't know, last hour or so. Been responding a little bit, but also been busy to set up everything in the studio. So I couldn't respond to everything. I've seen lots of people from all around the world. Again, it's just amazing. Thank you all for showing up, and well, hopefully today we're gonna see a Starlink launch. If you followed my Twitter, the the weather isn't favorable right now, but we'll see. I checked the latest weather report and it says 50% chance of a launch. So thick cloud layer rule, disturbed weather rule. So we'll see about that. Yeah. Hey everybody. Texas. That is just. I mean, what time is it in Texas right now? What is it? 6, 7 in the morning. You're up early. Very nice for the rocket launch. That is really cool. Asia again. I've seen Philippines earlier. Somebody posted the name of the music and it was correct. Thank you very much for that because I get that question every time. Um, it's a good song. I like it too. Japan. Hey there. Really cool. Tasmania. That is the same place that Marcus House comes from. Very cool. Vietnam. Very cool. Grüß Gott. Southern Germany. Australia. Yeah, that should be good time in the evening. Nice time for a launch. Egypt. Very cool. Sydney. Belize. Virginia. West Virginia. Norway, France, Oregon, Texas. It's just awesome. Thanks all for showing up. Lots of Americans. I'm surprised actually. I didn't think that. I mean, not to say that Americans are lazy or anything, but it is pretty early over there. At least on the East Coast, it's already okay. But 8:30 in New York. Yeah. Latvia. Oh my god, this is so fast again. I'm sorry if I'm going out of the picture here. I'm trying to read the chat, which is going crazy right now. Thank you all for showing up. That is just, it's just really, really awesome. Alpha Centauri again. Very nice. Long trip. How's the reception in Alpha Centauri? Very cool. England. Lots of Americans. That is, that, like, I totally didn't expect you guys to show up because it's so early in the morning. Very cool. Yeah, 5:33 in California, exactly. So kudos for you to show up on the Starlink launch at 5:30 in the morning. That is pretty awesome. Indiana. My sister lived in Indiana, in Indianapolis. She moved to Milwaukee now, though. Well, 10 years ago or so. But I've been to Indiana before. Seen the Indy 500 race in Indianapolis. That was pretty cool. Sweden, Seattle, Louisiana. My God, guys. Very cool. Thank you for showing up. This is much appreciated. I've already got a super chat earlier. I don't know I don't remember the name anymore, and the chat's already gone. But thank you very, very much. Like on the last stream, all the money you give in super chats today is gonna go into the travel fund for the United States for Cape Canaveral and Boca Chica. 28th of February. I'll be leaving. That's pretty soon already, a month, and I'll be staying until March 10th. And like I said, anything you donate, I'm gonna use that over there to fund all the tours at Kennedy Space Center, which are pretty expensive. I'm gonna do 4 days at Kennedy Space Center. I actually already have a date and an address for a meetup for anybody who's on the East Coast and is able to reach Florida on the February 29th will be, let me just check the address for you real quick. I'll put a post up as well, though, of course. Let me just, there we go. It should be somewhere in here. All right, it's the Shiloh's Steak and Seafood in Titusville. Just, I can even probably give you a link of the website. There we go. That's the place, and it overlooks the vehicle assembly building at Kennedy Space Center. That should be pretty awesome. This is the link to the restaurant that we're gonna meet up on February 29th at 6 p.m. I think in the evening. After we're done with the tours at Kennedy Space Center, we're gonna go directly have a steak and have a great time with you guys, whoever shows up. And there are quite a few already who said they're gonna come, so that should be pretty interesting. Some people from that you might know from Twitter, and hopefully somebody from NASA Spaceflight's going to show up, and Julia Bergeron, if that tells you anything, is going to be there, and John Winkup hopefully is going to be there. He's a drone pilot. You might know him from drone footage from the Coco site when that was still going. Now it's a bit quieter over there, but that's the place. Titusville, exactly. I guess you can hear me okay. I'm using a new microphone. This is this thing here. I bought that with Patreon money very, very recently, and this is the first live stream that I'm using it. The patrons already know it because I did an unboxing video of all the stuff I bought with the Patreon money, and the studio is pretty much improving with every month right now. That is awesome as well. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. Johannesburg. Very cool. Okay, my name on Twitter is Felix Schlang. That is my real name as well. And that is my Twitter handle. So, and it's worth it to follow me there because I actually post on a daily basis on Twitter because it's so convenient to just it's short messages. You can convey whatever you want, pictures, video, whatever, and it just works very, very nice. So I use Twitter a lot. Thank you for the super chat, Mike. That is much appreciated. McDonald's. No, we're gonna have a meetup at McDonald's. No, in Boca Chica, but I don't know where yet. I'm probably gonna ask Gene, South Padre, if that tells you anything. He knows the area pretty well, and he's already said that he's gonna give me surf lessons, so that should be awesome. And I'm gonna ask him for a good place to do a meetup in Boca Chica. So we're gonna do that as well, but the address is not there yet, and it's definitely gonna be between March 7th and 10th. Probably on the 8th or 9th, because on the 7th I arrive in Boca Chica at midnight on the 7th, which is ridiculous, but it was the only flight I could take. So I'm from Germany, right next to Nürburgring, if that tells you anything, for racing fans, which I am. Part of the reason why we bought a house here. That is a very, very famous race track in Germany. And I'm living so close to it that I can hear them race whenever there's a race going on at Nürburgring. I can hear that when I open up the window. It's a very, very nice hilly area with lots of woods, and I love it here. It's not too remote though. There are big cities around, and it's a good place. Germans make grand firearms. That's true. Yeah, I've been to the Bundeswehr, and I shot quite a few of them. And they're reliable, but I don't know if that's a trait we can be proud of. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, rally races are very, very nice, and there is a very famous rally race going on in the Eifel as well, which I've been there when I was younger. I don't have the time anymore right now, where you can basically just stand next to the street, to the road that winds through the mountains, and you can see them pass by. That is just WRC is going on there. Guten Tag. Pier 19 on South Padre. You can see Starship. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna ask Gene. He probably knows his way around there, and we're gonna find a nice place. I'll ask him about Pier 19. Just let me make a note of this real quick so I don't forget it. Pier 19 South Padre, you said. Pier 19 South P. Thank you. Yeah, I'll check that out. It's gonna come in the next few days. I should have already put up a post about the meeting in Florida, but I'm so busy right now. Yesterday I did 10 hours on the latest episode for patrons. Is already out, and it's going to be out for you in 2 hours. I'm probably going to set that live while the launch is going on, probably. And lots of preparations for the ESA trip that I'm gonna do. It's shifted from February 5th to 6th. I'm gonna go watch the solar orbiter launch in Darmstadt at the mission control, ESA mission control, which is gonna be mind blowing probably. And that has shifted because they had problems with the wet dress. Some propellant pipe got loose actually on the ULA installment on the installation, and it shifted to February 7th and 8th. So yeah, that all that kind of stuff right now keeps me really, really busy, and that's why I don't have the post out yet. But that I'm probably going to do that tonight. You were where in 2006? Hello from Michigan. Very nice. Thanks for showing up. we're following Felix. Oh, it's Gemma. Hey, nice to see you. Yeah, it's the chat has calmed down a little bit, so now I can actually read it. And the streaming cat's here. There you go. She's always there. She's like sitting right there, like always. All right, let me check something. Yeah, I already got a question about the episode. DJ Ice, the Ice Machine, will there be an episode today? Of course there will be an episode today, and it will be online in 2 hours and 18 minutes, as usual. That should be around 11 Eastern Standard, I think, or 12. Not too sure. That's always the same schedule. And the cat gotta go. Give me a second. All right. Yeah. Let me real quick check if there's anything new on the launch weather. If SpaceX has said anything, they haven't said anything new yet. So it's a waiting game, like last time with the in-flight abort, and the Starlink launch before that, and CRS-19 I think as well. So we've had bad luck with the last 4 launches already. But tomorrow, if it doesn't happen today, tomorrow is a very, very good backup date. The weather looks much better for tomorrow. It's a 20% chance of violation for tomorrow, and for today it's a 50% chance of violation. So. And tomorrow it's only the cumulus. Is it cumulus or cumulus? In German it would be cumulus. The cumulus cloud rule is it's a 20% chance of violation for tomorrow. So if it doesn't happen today, it'll happen tomorrow. And yeah, that's all we can say right now. So we'll wait and see. And the SpaceX stream is still set for in 66 minutes. So they're still go. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, if anybody has questions or something, just ask them. The moderators will pick them up and I'll answer them. Andrew Kroll was asking, only one question for Felix. What's with the $20 bill behind you? What's the story? All right, the story is just that is from, I think it's from my first trip ever to the United States, and I just put that there because it's a fine memory. I love going to the United States, and I was actually thinking of moving there, but now that we have 3 kids, and the oldest one is already 6, and he doesn't really, I mean, he speaks a few words of English already, but it's not that much, and I don't know if we should put them through the pain and to learn a completely new language while they're still learning their mother's tongue. So I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, it's basically just that I like the United States. I've had some very, very good times over there, and I've got a lot of friends in the United States. East Coast, West Coast, all the way up to Alaska, Arizona. I've got friends all over the place over there. And so yeah, it's a reminder of the good times that I've had in the United States, basically. Um, for civilization, I really appreciate how you've evolved your show. Been with your channel since about 1K. Wow! So you know the dark times. I was thinking about actually deleting the early episodes because they are so low quality, and which is a sign for the show having improved over the time. Yeah, thank you very much. Basically, in the beginning, when I started the channel, I knew a lot about audio engineering, composing music, writing, but I did some videos before, but not on this level, and so I had to learn so many things when it comes to the production and the background, and it's a lot of fun. So I love learning the stuff, and that's why I learn all the time about it. And I'm not done yet. There are a few things that I'm still planning to put on the show to try out, to try differently. So it'll probably evolve. Maybe it'll never stop evolving. But thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Feedback's always good. Thank you. Thomas Gerard is asking, large diaphragm condenser mic. Yeah, it's a 26 millimeter diaphragm. That is a really hard to say word for me. It's a condenser mic. Yep. And the good thing about this one is that it is all automated. You do all the adjustments in the software, which I like much more than dialers on the microphone itself. And it's basically a plug and play. Rode did a really fine job with this. With this microphone. It is really nice. Very, very nice. I like it. Thank you. Roman Joe is asking, did you ever drive on the Nordschleife, and could you say something to your German fans? I'm still flashed from your English. Yes, I drove on the Nordschleife, and it is a lot of fun. And if my wife would agree more with it, I would drive more on the Nordschleife. But if it is pretty, if you're trying to actually race a time, it is dangerous for the car. So I can definitely understand. It's our family car, and if I bust that car, that wouldn't be too good. But when I didn't have kids yet, I drove on the Nordschleife, and it was a lot of fun. Ja, und natürlich kann ich was sagen für die deutschen Fans. Danke, dass ihr aufgetaucht seid. Es freut mich immer ganz besonders, Leute aus Deutschland in meinen Streams und auch in den Kommentaren zu sehen. And now I'm gonna speak in English again because nobody will be able to understand this. Thank you for the question. Question from Tam Hewitt Baker. Tam Hewitt Baker? Do you have a Tesla, and will you do a lap? I don't have a Tesla. I'd love to have a Tesla, and as soon as I can afford a Tesla, I'm gonna get a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y. We'll have to wait and see. And yeah, I would do a lap on Nordschleife with a Tesla, of course, but if it's not a performance edition, a Model 3 performance edition, it's gonna have trouble on the Nordschleife because it's a really long lap. It's if you're driving really, really, really quick, you're done in under 10 minutes, and everything under 8 minutes basically is a pro race driver. And the Tesla batteries have trouble supplying the car with enough energy for 8 minutes. So, but not on the performance editions. But the performance edition is like 60,000 euros or something. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford that. But if that day comes and I get a Model 3 Performance Edition, I'm definitely going to do a lap on the Nürburgring, of course. And I'll post the time for all the Porsche fans, because these cars are really quick. Thanks for the question. That was a nice one. Andrew Owens is asking, Felix, what is your educational background? My educational background is that I have Abitur, as you'd say. And I learned Bürokaufmann, office management, and then later I switched to sales, to being a sales representative in the field. I was good at it, but I hated it, and I always loved doing media, and I always did that as a side job. I always tried to get into media. I worked with Deutsche Welle, that is a pretty big German television and radio broadcaster, and I did, what's the English word for that? Lektorat. I totally don't know the English word for that. Correcting books. My mother was a writer, an author, and she published more than 40 books in her life. And I did some work for that too. I always liked composing music and all that kind of stuff. So I was always into media. And then on the other hand, as you can see there in the background, I was also always into astronomy. And that combined is the YouTube channel about space. And but I got that idea very late. And it was also, I mean, having 3 kids and having just bought a house, it was a tough decision to go full-time YouTuber and to not knowing if it would even succeed. And now the channel has been racing for the last 7 months, and it is incredible for me. And I'm very, very happy that I can be in this position to do this. Thank you very, very much for showing up and for liking the videos and for subscribing to the channel. That is what keeps me doing this. And of course, the patrons, they are invaluable for the channel, and without them I couldn't do the job. So the biggest problem with YouTube is income. If you don't have enough income stream, there are so many talented YouTubers out there who could do much more content, but that was my cell phone, but they're not full-time committed because they can't, because they don't want to quit their jobs or whatever. And that's a problem on YouTube. And I can do this full time right now, and that is just awesome. So that's the background and how it led up to the channel, basically. Mo Guide is asking, are you going to Florida one day? Yes, I am. And did you ever go to Belgium? Yes, I went to Brussels with actually a buddy of mine from the United States, from Maryland, and that was basically the only time I stayed in Belgium. I drove through Belgium, of course, because you need to go to, if you want to go to France, and I've got a sister in France, in southern France. The best route to take from here is to go through Belgium. So I've been to Belgium a lot before. I love Belgium. And I'm going to go to Florida in exactly 1 month from now. I'm going to board the plane on February 27th. And I'll be staying in the United States until March 10th. And I'll be visiting Kennedy Space Center. I'll hopefully be watching the CRS-20 go in the night, which is going to be awesome because I've never seen a rocket launch live, and this one's going to be a night launch between midnight and 1 a.m. in the morning. So that should be mind-blowing. I'm so looking forward to that. I'm doing the journey with one of my patrons, actually, which is awesome as well. And yeah, so I've been to the States a few times before, and I love every trip I do to the States. There's so much to see there, and nice people. I like the country. Thank you, Mo Guide. I love your channel. I love the channel too. It's lots of fun to do. It's just amazing what's going on in the space industry lately. Haha. It feels like a second space race, honestly, right now, with Boeing and SpaceX chasing each other on the crewed flight, and with Starship in development, and everybody else basically dipping into reusable rockets right now. Lots of small businesses that sprung up in recent years for the small sat business. There's just so much going on in developing new technologies for space right now that is just insane. And so it's a lot of fun because there are a million different topics right now. That is what keeps me going on that channel. I have a hard time putting all the stuff I want to put into the episodes because they are blown out to 12 to 15 minutes already, which is difficult to produce. There are others who do like 3 or 4 minutes, and I do. Like sometimes, like I said, sometimes I do 15 minutes, and there's still not everything in there that I would like to put in there. So yeah, look forward to many more episodes. There's right now so much going on there. Moritz Music is saying, hey, from Dortmund, maybe you see us in Darmstadt. You're gonna go there? You're gonna be at the social event at ESA? That would be awesome. I'm not planning on doing a meetup in Darmstadt because I'm gonna be all day long. I'm gonna be at ESA, and then on the day before the launch, it stops at 8 in the evening, and the launch is at 5 in the morning, and they expect us back in the ESA building at 4 in the morning. So I'll be going straight to the hotel, try to sleep, and then get back up like 3 in the morning or so to go back to ESA. So, well, if you're there, we can meet. If not, it's going to be really hard finding me because I'll be behind the doors at ESA. That's for sure. Gemma, Felix is a rock star and he's just super smart. Thank you very much. Peter Cosgalio. Good evening, Felix. What city do you live in Germany? Close to a big city or a smaller city? Thank you. I'm living right next to Adenau, which is really, really close to Nürburg, and that is right next to Nürburgring, the racetrack. But I'm located in a smaller village, 4 kilometers or so away from Adenau. So in the middle of the northern Eifel, which is a very hilly and woody place to live. It is really, really nice here. If you look outside my window, you see the most typical German scenery you can basically imagine, like 500, 600 meter high hills with covered with all sorts of trees all the way to the horizon, basically. It's a lovely place. Love it here. Etienne Coley. Felix, do you listen to Rammstein while watching rocket launches sometimes? It would be fitting, and in my earlier days I loved listening to Rammstein, so and singing their songs, of course. Lately though, my musical taste reaches from classical music to oldies to deadmau5 to whatever. I'm not bound to a specific genre of music. My credo always is if it sounds good, I'm gonna listen to it. It doesn't matter what kind of music it is. But Rammstein definitely is part of it. I like the sound, definitely, and what they do on stage is just awesome. You've got too many questions. I gotta check the launch weather again real quick. Give me a second, so we don't miss anything. All right, 7 minutes ago, SpaceX tweeted T-minus 60 minutes until Starlink launch. So, could happen. That would be something. That would be really cool. Is Chris saying anything? Let me just check that. Nope. Good morning on launch day, nothing more. The rocket is there, waiting for the launch, and SpaceX is still go for launch, so it could happen. Let me just check the 45th Space Wing again, if they haven't updated. Nope, still from yesterday, and it's still saying 50%, so nothing changed there. We'll have to wait and see. I don't want to keep your fingers crossed for the launch today, because it is not a sure thing that we're going to see a launch, but hopefully. I'm just going to real quick retweet this for everybody who's not watching the stream right now. Fingers crossed. All right, we'll have to wait and see. The webcast is still up, saying 51 minutes and 24 seconds right now, so we're getting closer. They're starting their webcast 15 minutes before launch, I think. So the typical intro. Not saying who's the host today. "45 minutes after liftoff, SpaceX 2 fairing recovery vessels." Okay, they're planning that as well. Hope the sea's not going to be too rough for that today, because the recent catch attempts were difficult, to say the least. But we'll wait and see. The stream's definitely going to still be up 45 minutes after launch, I guess. So maybe we'll see a fairing catch today. That would be cool. All right, let me get back to a few more questions here, because there is nothing new on the launch. Rammstein, there we go. Okay, Norbsel is saying, do you know how many more launches are needed for a functional Starlink network? Yes, they will be up to 240 satellites, including this launch, but 60 of those are version 0.9, and I honestly don't know if they can be used for service. And I think 2 or 3 aren't operational anymore, so it's roughly 240 satellites. And if you can only use the V1 satellites, and I honestly don't know, that would be something to research. If anybody in the chat knows if the V0.9 satellites can be used for Starlink end user service, please post in the chat. I'd be interested. But if you take all the satellites, it's roughly 240 after this launch, and they'll need 400 to make a functional network. And they are going to provide service in Northern America and Canada, I think, at first. There's nothing known yet about what it will cost. Musk tweeted before that it'll be about the same as a normal internet provider, but there's nothing known if the antenna will be rented or if you can buy it. So all these details are still missing. But if everything goes as planned, I'd say middle of the year is definitely a good chance for the first Starlink services being bookable somehow. That would be really cool, because I've already got some friends, Warhawk, for example, he's looking forward to Starlink right now because his internet connection is rather bad, and Starlink would boost that up probably by a lot. So, Jean-Noel Castelletto, thank you very, very much. What do you think about the last tank test? About serial number 1, I think that the flight test will come forward end of the first half of the year. Yeah, according to Elon, we're gonna see it fly end of March. I do not bet on that anymore, because that would be insane. Half year, yep, until maybe July, August, something like that sounds good. And I've analyzed a lot of the pressure tank, the tank testing on the episode that is going to come out today. So I don't really want to spoil this for everybody else, but that's definitely worth watching, because that is what they're doing right now. They're testing a lot of different construction methods for the domes, and they're pumping out these test tanks, basically two per day or something like that right now. They're crazy with the test tanks, which is awesome to watch, because we can actually see some live testing and not just ring stacking. So it's actually of course, the ring stacking is still missing, but right now I'm having a lot of fun with the pressure tests. Elon did not post anything yet, I think, about if the nose cone that was recently tested did hit the mark. Basically, it busted, but let me just check if Sphere Earthers Rule, that's what he's called on Twitter right now, if he said anything about the test results yet. Nope, he didn't. He's probably busy with the Starlink launch right now. Yeah, so we don't know yet if that nose cone hit the mark. I hope he's gonna do something. He's gonna say something about that in the near future. And that tank testing is awesome. I love it, and I hope you're enjoying every episode. And thank you very, very much for the super chat. That is much appreciated. And as said before, it's going into the funds for the United States trip to Kennedy Space Center and Boca Chica. And the more money you give me, the better food I'll have, basically, because the funds are limited. So thank you very, very much for the super chat. Let me see what question I was here. How many more launches? There we were. Okay, Humperdinger is saying, will they really do 200 F9 launches for Starlink, or will Starship soon take... Starship will... Musk said that already, that it'll take around 400 Starlink satellites into orbit in a single launch, and he already said that Starship will be able to launch 3 times a day. So, yeah. As soon as Starship is in business, as SpaceX intends it on paper right now, they'll do that with Starship. That's the perfect job in the beginning to show that the system is reliable. You need a lot of launches, go up as much as possible to drive the statistics up, and the Starlink launches are the perfect thing for that, because Starlink satellites are cheap, fast produced, and in-house production. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that there are not going to be... What did you say? 200 Falcon 9 launches would be needed. That is a lot, and I don't think that SpaceX would be doing that. Even though it is cheap for SpaceX, relatively, to launch the Starlink satellites with their own rockets, of course. But as soon as Starship can do the job, it'll just be much, much better suited for this. And like I said, it's going to be the perfect task for the beginning, because in the beginning you have to show reliability and you have to do it in a rather cheap way. And well, a Starship placing Starlink satellites into orbit is a nice mission to show off. And if you can do like 20 or 30 of those in a row, there you go. That would be the perfect solution. Kobe Lovelady is saying, when do you plan on looking through that telescope and showing us how it works? I will, because I'm actually already an Explore Scientific ambassador. Somebody at Explore Scientific, which is a sister company of Bresser, which made this telescope. Basically, Explore Scientific is the United States version of Bresser. And they approached me, asking me exactly that question. And I'm probably going to do it, of course, because that's an honor. I'm already on their website as an official ambassador for their equipment, and that is really, really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna do it in winter, because any hobby astronomer knows that it takes a long time to set up the telescope and get everything right, and actually until you can start watching, even with a go-to mount, which is really quick because it's got motors, it's computer controlled, so you don't have to manually scan the sky for your object. As soon as you've got it aligned, it'll find the object for you, but still it's an hour of setup time and stuff. And if it's 1 or 0 degrees outside, which is 32 Fahrenheit for the United States viewers, and you gotta stand outside for 2 or 3 hours to have any meaningful astronomy going on, you don't well, if you're an Eskimo or something, an Inuit, you'll probably do that. But I'm not, so I don't do that much astronomy in the winter. And probably I'm going to do that introduction video in spring when it gets a bit warmer outside. But yeah, I'll do that. It's planned, and it's going to be a lot of fun to show you in the middle of the night with a red light. It's going to be difficult to film, but I'll manage. And I'll drive up the hill. And in the area here, there is very, very little light smog, light pollution, that's what it's called. And so that should be a pretty good experience for you. I can film through it and everything and show you how the thing works, and maybe even get some people into astronomy, which is an awesome thing to do. You don't have to buy that expensive equipment to get some very, very, very nice first results. And it's always something different to see a Hubble image or to see it with your own eyes. It makes it much more real. If you see Saturn's rings, or if you have a telescope like me, I can see planetary nebulas and galaxies and all that kind of stuff, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah, maybe I can get some people into astronomy with the video. That's the intent of it all. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, definitely, but give me some warmer nights. So I'll do that in spring. Lone Wolf 0648. What is your favorite SpaceX launch? That would be the upcoming or already happened. Already happened would be the first Falcon Heavy launch, because that was just mind blowing in my opinion. With the even though the car was a curious thing to do, it was inspirational in my opinion to send a car into space with a guy sitting in it and then send it towards Mars. And the whole rocket with the synchronized boosters landing, even though the core stage, the center stage, didn't make it, the 2 boosters landing side by side and all that, it was just poor. Other than that, it would be Saturn V, of course, because it's an incredible engineering feat what they did back then. As many said before, the companies building rockets today are standing on the shoulders of giants, basically. And the Saturn V and everything that came before it, Redstone, Gemini, those were the people that didn't have anybody to rely on, or very, very, very little. And so that the engineering feat back then, in my opinion, was even more impressive. And then Saturn V is the peak of all that. So it would be Falcon Heavy, and then before that, Saturn V, the whole program, the whole Apollo program basically was just mind-blowing when it comes to rocket launches and everything else. So yeah, that would be that. And Soyuz. It's really, that's like asking for the favorite movie or something. What's your favorite movie? Oh yeah, it would be this. No, maybe that. That's the same with rockets. I love Soyuz rockets, even though they're not reusable. They are damn reliable Russian beasts. I love those, and they look really cool. They look sci-fi in my opinion. They look very nice. Yeah. I'll stop it there. I could name probably 10 other launch vehicles that I loved or still love. Seeing launches of, but yeah, Falcon Heavy, and then second, close, very very close second, Saturn V. Oh, you were even asking SpaceX launch. Okay, so so it would be Falcon Heavy, the first Falcon Heavy launch. I loved that one. By how many Patreons will you join a Starship? Can I join a Starship? I don't know. I already said before that I wouldn't go to Mars because I've got 3 kids. But if SpaceX at any time offers these point-to-point travels, and they've shown already that it's pretty reliable, I would beg to my wife on my knees to be able to take a flight with it. I would definitely do that. No matter how many patrons, I would save up for it. So that I would love to do that, definitely, if at all possible in the future. And Musk said it over and over again, even after the latest in-flight abort test. He did this little interview. I had that on an episode, and he again said that Starship will be able to open up space for the average person. We are the average person. So as soon as that happens, I'm gonna try it out, definitely. As soon as it's reliable. At least, of course. I'm not going to be a beta tester for the Starship, but I would love to fly with it, that's for sure. Mo Guide ever went to Belgium? I've answered that before. I did go to Belgium, and we even did camping there too. My wife just wrote to me. We did camping there too. And pretty recently, actually, 2 years ago, we went to see my sister in southern France. And on the way there, I think on the way there, not, but on the way back, we stopped. We had a trailer behind the car with a tent in it, and we stopped there and tented on a camping, what's that called in English? Campingplatz, camping space. Camping ground, there we go. At a camping ground, and that was really, really nice. And then, of course, Brussels. I've been to Brussels. Brussels. How do Belgians say Brussels? I don't even know. Bruxelles. I don't know. You tell me. Chris Seward. Will you be going to the Cape for Crew Dragon? I will be going to the Cape for for Cargo Dragon. The last Cargo Dragon V1 will be a CRS-20. I'll be seeing that. And the problem is the distance and the funds. It is expensive, and it's not nice towards my family to go alone all the time. So I would love to go there every 2 weeks or so. But we're already looking at maybe doing Falcon Heavy in next fall. But Crew Dragon is going to be difficult because it's going to be right in between, and my wife still wants to go to Scotland as well. And we can only do so many travels in 1 year because the funding is limited. So yeah, but I'll definitely do a crewed launch from the Cape at some point. Probably not Crew Dragon Demo Mission 2 though, because I'm gonna go CRS-20, and after that for this year, maybe Falcon Heavy in fall, but that's not even sure yet. So maybe the year after, 2021, maybe. Yep. That would be nice. Oh, I'm gonna butcher the name. Ashraf Yazmi. I hope that was somehow correct. How many Starlink have been launched to space? I'm thinking you're asking how many Starlink satellites are already in orbit. That would be roughly 180, and today they're gonna fill it up to 240 roughly, because there are like 2 or 3 that are not operational anymore. But a quarter of those will be v.9. I asked the question before, but I didn't watch the chat, so I don't know if anybody responded, and I'm not too sure if v.9 can be used for service. If anybody can answer it again, I'll watch the chat now. I'm sorry, I totally forgot because of answering all the questions. I'm not too sure though. Like I said, if not, it'll be 180. Somebody saying anything here? Help me out. Nope. I may be able to point you to some nice spots. You would have to ask my wife for that. Maybe she'll contact you. Yeah, that would be nice. Thank you. Let me just check something here. Stream is off. What? For me, it's moving. Back live. All right. Must be. Yeah. It was probably buffering or something. Hopefully that's not going to happen while the launch is going on. It's back. Yup. Stream is on. Thank you. Very nice. Okay. I did not see anything about v.9. Maybe nobody of you knows that answer either. I'm not too sure if even Elon or SpaceX have talked about v.9 being able to provide service. So yeah, my connection, it says on the back end, I have this tool from YouTube and it says perfect connection. So I don't know. Can't do anything about this. I can say the exact time I have here right now. Yes, that's actually a good idea. It's 15, 16, and 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So that's my local time, of course. So 16 and 49, 50, 51. That would be the time on my PC. But there's always delay there, and everything below 10 seconds basically is really, really good. And if you have more delay, it always helps, because sometimes actually it's YouTube ruining the delay. Refresh the page. That helps a lot. I do that too when I watch streams. Even SpaceX has the problem. So if you want to be as accurate as possible right before the launch, refresh the page, and you should be at under 10 seconds delay. Is it scrubbed? No, please don't be scrubbed. SpaceX is still saying T-minus 60. Is Chris G saying anything different? He normally is pretty, he doesn't say anything different either. Where do you have the news? Possible scrub. Where did you get the news? Well, the stream, Warhawk, my backend says the stream quality is perfect. It says perfect quality. I could end the stream and turn it on again, but I think it shouldn't change too much. NSF is saying it. All right. Chris G's not saying anything. Nope. Cape indicating a hold at T-minus 38 minutes and 27 seconds. Unsure if it's a scrub or not, or just a clock issue 5 minutes ago. Yep. Fingers crossed. Could be a scrub that we're looking at. I see it too now. Yeah, not over yet. Space Intelligence is saying not over yet. Let's cross our fingers. Let's hope so. Emery Kelly posted about it. Yeah, that should be pretty close to propellant loading. Go, no go, and propellant load. It was always to be expected that this today could be a scrub. Let me see if 45th hasn't updated anything. It still says 50% there. The visitor complex just 20 seconds ago, the Kennedy Space Center visitor complex said 30 more minutes. And that's a scrub for today. Recycling to tomorrow. is what Chris G said 44 seconds ago. So it could very, very well be that this is it. But that was to be expected. That's what happens in the rocket launch business. And the weather was pretty bad. And if it's not going to be a launch today, I'm definitely going to be streaming again tomorrow. But let me real quick research a bit more into this. Still, it's into the standing clock, if that really is a scrub now. Upper level winds. Standing down today, yup, 39 seconds ago. SpaceX posted, standing down today due to strong upper level winds. Next launch opportunity is tomorrow at 9:28 a.m. Eastern Standard or 14:28 UTC, which would be 15:28 my time. So it would be roughly the same time window as today, and I'll definitely stream again tomorrow, of course, because that's something we don't want to miss. Let me just real quick retweet this thing so everybody else knows it. And then I'm going to answer some more of your questions while we're still at it, because there are still a lot of them. So if you've got the time, don't leave. Maybe you get an answer to your question. I'll go through a few more as soon as I've done that. And yes, I do have a mechanical keyboard. There we go. All right, now everybody knows. That's how that is. Yeah, about those upper level with Julia Bergeron. Yeah, that's just the way it goes. That's how it is. All right, let me just real quick go to a few more of those questions, because you've been asking a lot of questions, and it would be a shame if I wouldn't go through a few more of those. That was my favorite SpaceX launch. The Starship, Belgium. Will you be going to the Cape for Crew Dragon? Had that. All right, how many Starlink have been launched to space? We had that too. EV is asking, hi Felix, how is it going today? Just got off from the hospital on my heart checkup and everything seemed good. That is very, very good to know that everything seemed good on your heart check. Yeah, as you've heard it right now, we've had a scrub and we're going to do another launch stream tomorrow, which is going to be much, much better than today, because the 45th said for tomorrow that it's only 20% violation, which is actually pretty good. 80% chance that it's actually going to take off tomorrow. And so, yeah, we'll have to try tomorrow. Commissar Roach, hey, I also used to work as a field sales rep. I hated it as well. Well, it is, like I said, it's something I know how to do, but it's always hunting these numbers, and I always hated that. Yeah. It's not a really nice job to do, that's for sure. George Nage, best camera, studio, and videography. Good job, Felix. Thank you very, very much. Rishab Watts, are you gonna attend DM2? I already answered that. Probably not, because I'm gonna attend CRS 20, and I don't know how many launches I can see in 1 year in the United States because of funding. It is pretty expensive to go over there. Mark Chris, when Elon plans to sell Starlink service for customers? This year. I don't know an exact date, because that's probably going to be hard to tell, obviously, for obvious reasons. As you can see, then sometimes stuff goes wrong or something's not right. But this year, definitely. Dignuts, can you do a collab with the Slingshot channel? I don't know the Slingshot channel. What is that? Never heard of the Slingshot channel. Next collaboration is going to be with Marcus House, by the way. I'm so much looking forward to that, because he's a super cool guy and we're friends in private already. And we help each other on a daily basis, basically. And I'm definitely going to do a collab with him next. That's for sure. Bala Dogo. Hello Felix, great work, but any idea as to what happened to the tank inside the nose cone of Starship during testing? What happened is that it was an overpressure test. It was meant to burst. That's what they always do in these pressure tests, to just see the upper limits of the structure. You can only know for sure what it can take maximum if you make it blow up, and that's what they do. So there are no news yet, no official news on how much pressure it was able to take, and that's not going to be on today's show because there are no official news, and I hate that, but we can't change it, and it's really hard to guess from the outside. That's basically not possible. And but there's going to be a lot about the details, about the test itself, about what was going on before and why they're doing it. All that kind of stuff is going to be on today's episode in 1.5 hours. It's going to be released to the public, and that should clear a lot of stuff up. But there are no hard numbers, and if SpaceX doesn't provide any hard numbers, the only indicator for us to know if a tank passed the mark that SpaceX wanted it to pass will be when they stop testing, because then it's obvious that they either did not find any possible way, which I can't think of, or they made the tank that suffices, that is actually working for a launch. So yeah, that's that. Lots of tank testing going on right now. So there was the Slingshot channel. Yeah, like I said, I don't know it. Question Mania, thanks for showing up. I hope you're still there. Hey Felix, will you live stream Chandrayaan 3 landing in 2020? Yes. I'm a big fan of ISRO, and Chandrayaan is just awesome. If that really goes as planned, it's definitely going to be a highlight, and I'm definitely going to stream it. Yes. No question about it. Tommy Vasky is asking, which are your favorite non-space related YouTubers? Hi from Sweden. First of all, Sweden, great country. You guys rock. One of my best friends comes from Sweden. And non-space related. He's not totally non-space related, but I would say Joe Scott. Smarter Every Day. Veritasium, but all of them have also done space-related stuff, but they mostly don't do space-related stuff. That's the best I can give you, because almost all of the channels I watch also have space content. But those three, definitely. Veritasium. Vsauce, when he was still doing stuff, but he somehow stopped or went premium or something like that. So, other than that, it goes into the smaller channels already, but those, and yeah, but that's totally space related. Curious Droid is one of my absolute favorites. I love the guy. He goes into so much detail. Scott Manley, of course. That's all the space related channels. So yeah, non-space related, it would be those. I got another super chat, and I want to thank Bimmerjeeza. Thank you very much again for your next airline ticket. Thank you. So maybe we're gonna see I'm gonna see the demo mission too live. Thank you very, very much for the super chat. That is much appreciated, and like I said, it's gonna go into the travel funds for NASA and the Cape. Every dollar you give me is gonna give me nicer food, basically, because the funds are limited. But that is, as always, the case with a small channel. So thank you very, very much for the super chat. Question Mania, there we go. Tommy Vasky, there we go. NC Super Dad. Did you hear Elon said they would attempt to catch Dragon with the nets instead of landing in water? Yes, I heard that too. And but if you look at the successful catch attempts they do on the fairing halves, I think Miss Tree had 9 attempts in total so far and caught 2. I don't know if that's too reliable to catch a capsule. Maybe it is easier to catch a capsule because it comes down more predictable or something. But if it is the same level of unpredictability, there we go, then I don't know if you should risk it. I mean, you know, of course it's better for the hardware if it doesn't touch the salt water, because salt water obviously is very corrosive. But I heard it, yes, and my first thought was cool, and my second thought was, and what if it doesn't catch it and it tips over or something, or the parachutes get wind up in the boat's nets or whatever. So I don't know if it's worth it, honestly. If you don't want to land in the water, land on the land. That would be my that's what I would tell SpaceX in this regard. But they know better. They know the system, and if they think they can reliably catch it, why not? Why not try, at least, if nothing dangerous can happen? Because there are people sitting in these. So, all right, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely going to be interesting if they actually do it. That's for sure. Life Johnson. Which are you most excited about? The growth of Tesla or the growth of SpaceX? SpaceX, with Tesla being a very, very close second. Right now they're building the Gigafactory 4 in Germany, and they're going to be building Model Ys over there, and that's it's just incredible what all of Elon's companies basically are doing, even the smaller ones, even the Boring Company or Neuranet, or they are all exciting in my opinion, but the number one would definitely be SpaceX for me, because the implications of how much it could change the future of humanity, I have to say, not the way we live or anything, the future of humanity. If he succeeds with Starship and he builds a Mars colony, he's going to open up a whole new chapter, basically, which would be just insane and amazing. And he'll if he actually does this, he should get a statue, in my opinion. That is just an awesome feat, an awesome accomplishment, and so yeah, SpaceX. But close second Tesla, which is because it's just needed right now that we switch to something else. And batteries, electric vehicles are not as bad as ICE cars. So yeah. If Marcus House would write in the chat, I'll make him a moderator right now, but I can't see him writing anything, so I can't make him a moderator. So if you please write something in the chat, I'll give you a wrench. Of course. We want to do that on the last stream as well. And I missed it. But Marcus, moderator on the stream, yes. Write something. I'll watch the chat right now. And Niklas wants to become a moderator as well. I have enough moderators actually, but Marcus would be an honorable guest. I like I said before, the guy is awesome. He does awesome content, and I work very, very closely together with him on all kinds of stuff and behind the scenes. Basically, he went to bed. All right, I missed him again. Thanks for showing up, Marcus. If you see the replay, maybe I'll make you a moderator tomorrow then. It's just I miss him every time because I'm too busy answering your questions. Electric cars cause you don't want to start that rant. Electric cars cause pollution at the power plants. All right, let me give you that one. You have to see all the different factors that go into all that. Let's look at the ICE cars. Before you get the gasoline into the car, it has to travel all the way around the world, consumes a lot of energy while it's going until it is in your tank. It'll be its efficiency will already have gone down a lot, and then an ICE engine is at best around 40% efficiency. So overall efficiency is probably going to be at around 25% or something. If you drive an electric car and 100% of the electricity comes from a coal plant, which is the worst case scenario basically in CO2 pollution. The coal plant is a really large facility which has a very high efficiency grade compared to that small engine in your car. And so the coal plant is at around 60% efficiency, and it loses a little bit of the electricity until it is in your battery, but still you'll be at around 55% of the energy that from the coal going into your car's battery. And then the electric motor is beyond 90% efficiency. So it uses almost all of the energy supplied by the battery for the car, for moving it, for playing music, for heating your seat. So it is overall much more efficient. So even if you get all the electricity from a coal plant, you'll have much less CO2 pollution on the same travel distance with an electric car. But of course, shut down the coal plants. On the other hand, secure jobs for the people working in the coal plants, but that's always how it is. So do it in a wise way. But yeah, you're right. It still creates pollution, but I just had to say this because I hear this argument a lot, and it's not true. Check the numbers. There are a lot of good videos on that. Joe Scott did a very nice video on efficiency of electric motors compared to ICE engines, and there's a lot of factors to take in, and not just that it comes from coal and this comes from oil. It's much more complicated than that. All right, I had to do this. I'm sorry. Oh man, so many questions. Brandon Nelson, what does your wife think or what you're doing? Supportive or rolling her eyes? She's helping. She's editing. She's a moderator right now. Her name in the chat should be Split Second Frag. That is my wife. She in the Split Second Mom. There you go. She helps with everything. She helps with A-roll cut. That is when I record. Through the camera and through the microphone, or actually through the little microphone here. That is the one that I use on the show. But maybe I can show you this. This is actually pretty nice to give you some behind the scenes. So this is what I use for the episode. If it focuses, please do not focus on my eyes. Focus on this. Well, if I hold it here, it'll be focused. That's what I use on the episodes. And then the camera, and that together I call the A-roll. And that is just a rough recording of, like, let's say 60 minutes or so per episode. And then my wife gets that and cuts it down to what she thinks I should use on the episode. And then I get that back and I put all the B-roll in, the pictures, the video you see, all the effects and all that kind of stuff. So she's playing a big part in the whole thing. She's fully behind me. And without her and many other contributors, the show wouldn't be possible. That's what I say in the end of every episode. There are so many people working on What About It. Everybody gives a little piece. I do a lot of the work, but I don't do everything. And my wife does does a very, very big part in it. And I'm very, very happy that she's with me. So love you. She's watching right now. What do we got? Bill Myers. Maybe the Boring Company could pre-position tunneling machines on the moon next year. On the moon? On the moon you can use craters, which is really, really nice. On the south pole of the moon there are craters that are always in the shade, but the rim is always in the sunlight. And in the craters you have water, water ice. You need water on the moon, and it's only found in those craters. And so those are the perfect solutions for a base. You build the base inside the crater or on the rim of the crater, but not fully in the sun, so you don't have any cooling problems. And you build the solar power on the rim of the crater, which is always in the sun, so you have 100% solar energy up there, and you have the water ice down in there. The tunneling machines will be very, very good for Mars. I really, really hope, that's one of my theories, is that Elon's companies all fit together. The Boring Company, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuronet, all that fits together to that one goal of moving us away from Earth, basically, or expanding our reach into the solar system. And all of those companies could be used on Mars. Boring Company, it's very, very necessary to build habitats underground on Mars, because you have so much radiation going on, and it's just necessary. You can't live on the surface of Mars for a prolonged period of time. So on Mars, Boring Company, please go to Mars. I hope that is one of Elon's goals in the long run, because that'll take some time, but it could well be a long-term goal. Benjamin Volsky, what about it? Do you know if SpaceX is going to make larger fairings for larger payloads? I've done an episode about that, like 2 or 3 episodes back. You gotta check that. Ruach in Switzerland is. I heard. I haven't checked that yet since I made the episode, and back then I couldn't actually find anything about it. But somebody posted a comment under the episode saying that they already have a contract with Ruach. From Switzerland. So they are specialists in making composite fairings, large composite fairings. ULA is manufacturing there. And it's like I said in the episode, it's a number game. They could make the fairings in-house, but as we all know, Starship is is already knocking on the door. And if you have a Starship, you won't need these big fairings for a long time anymore. And the machines making these fairings are very, very expensive, so it's a number thing. And I according to the comment, I have not checked it yet because I've been busy with other stuff. According to the comment, they already have a contract with RUAC, which would be awesome because they are, like I said, they are a specialist. So watch the episode to learn more about RUAC, and Google them online. It's a pretty impressive company. They are making a lot of things, and one of them is big composite fairings. We have Jean-Noël. Thank you very much. Did you have a competition between Kevin, Space Eccentrics, Astron Geek, Marcus House, and you? No, there's no competition. There are, I mean, seriously, don't laugh. I see like 860 people laughing right now. There is no competition. I think exactly the opposite. The more how YouTube works, I upload a video. You watch the video, like the video, and in the end, you'll get suggestions for other videos. And you know what these videos are? They're Kevin's, Space Eccentric, Marcus House, and all the other people making space videos. So they benefit from me. And it's exactly the other way around as well. If Kevin uploads a video, I benefit from him because you'll get a suggestion. Hey, what about it? Did another video? Maybe you want to watch this next. So I don't really think that there's a competition on YouTube. And I really don't like if other YouTubers think of it as a competition. I think we could benefit much more if we work together. And Marcus House, for example, is one of those candidates that loves to work together. And I chat with him on a daily basis, basically. And he's an awesome guy. Joe Scott as well. I've chatted with him before, and he helped me a lot. Very, very nice guy. But there are others who think it's competition, but I don't. I really don't. I don't think that there's a competition going on at all. And if somebody gets bigger, I get bigger because he gets more views, and then his suggestions go more to my videos, and vice versa. So, and there's so much going on as well. I mean, you would need 10 different or 20 different YouTubers doing episodes twice a week, and you wouldn't have covered everything that's going on right now. It's just insane. There are like, I have at least 30, 40 different topics that I want to cover right now. And I can only cover 2 topics each episode. So that's enough for the next, I don't know how long. So, no, I don't think that there's a competition going on there. I wish them all the best. Every one of those you mentioned, they're all really, really good. And yeah. Question 32. Folded Eagle. What about it? Can Crew Dragon dock with the planned Lunar Gateway space station? It could. The Gateway is going to use the standard docking adapter. And that's the reason why they invented the standard docking adapter, because you can then interchange all the different vehicles, and all of them can basically dock with it. The question is, though, how to reach it, how to plan the mission and everything else. But the docking itself, I am very, very sure that the Lunar Gateway is gonna use a standard docking adapter, as same thing as the ISS. So yeah, it should be able to. It's comparable to when you have a trailer hook or something. Yeah, you don't need the trailer hook from the company that you bought the trailer from. That would be madness. And that's the same standard going on in space as well. Luckily, there is a standardized system, and every newer vehicle uses it, and that's a good thing, definitely. Otherwise, we'd go crazy. You'd have to replace docking adapters on the vehicles. That would be a pain. So no, yeah, it should be able to. If Boeing is not totally mad, it should be able to, definitely. Or is it Lockheed Martin building the Gateway? Is it Boeing or Lockheed Martin? Oh no. There we go. Jonathan O'Brien will be going to Germany this year to visit my sister and brother-in-law. Would be awesome to meet up and do a lap at the Nürburgring. If you bring a car, because I'm not allowed to go with my car on the Nürburgring because it's the family car, and I'm known to be a fast driver on the Nürburgring. I just love to do the times. So yeah, it would be lovely. I haven't done a meetup in Germany yet. Shame on me, but I'm really, really busy. I in general need to do some sort of meetup for the European fans. Probably going to be along the border to the Netherlands or something like that, so most people can reach it, but I should definitely do that, yes. And if you come, just pitch me a message, whataboutit.contact@gmail.com, and tell me when you're going to be around. Maybe we can meet up for a beer. I'd like that, yes. Thank you. Thomas Gerard, going to wait for your latest video before going to bed. It's 1:23 a.m. in Sydney. I am sorry. You'll have to wait another 1 hour and 15 minutes. Stay awake. You can do it. Thank you very much. Mix play music. Okay, see you tomorrow. Will you be live same time as today? I hope you're not gone already, because I'm really lazy with the with the speed of the question answering. I will, of course, same time, hopefully same time as today, maybe even a little bit earlier, because the launch window tomorrow is like 15 minutes earlier, so I might start the stream at 14:15 my time. But I'll announce everything on Twitter. I'll announce it on the what should we call it, the YouTube community section. There you go. And so I'll keep you updated on that. And of course, if you hit the bell and if you subscribe to the channel, and if you got all those activated, you should see a reminder that I'm putting up the stream. So if you haven't done it yet, subscribe, hit the bell, like the channel. There are like 823 people watching right now, and we only have 392 likes. How can that be? Hit that like button, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll put a reminder for the stream up, and you can then basically see. But yeah, it's gonna be around the same time, which is gonna be a trouble for me with the production of the next episode. But I still want to stream this Starlink launch, so I'm definitely gonna do it. You can count on it. If I don't die or get the cold again, which I had last week, which was terrible, I'll definitely stream tomorrow. Come to Sweden. John Eriksson is saying, come to Sweden and check out the northern lights above the Launchpad S range. I was in Canada, not Canada, Alaska before. I wanted to check the northern lights with my wife. Actually, we rented an RV, went all the way up to Fairbanks to the polar circle. I checked online if there would be polar lights, northern lights we could see, and the website said yes, it's a good night for that. So we stayed up all night, and then 3 a.m, it wasn't dark yet. And at 4 a.m, it got brighter again. And then we realized that in May, the sun doesn't go all the way down and you can't see the northern lights. That was our only opportunity so far to see northern lights. It's on the bucket list. And yeah, you can see them in Sweden, especially in northern Sweden. It's probably amazing. I've never seen any northern lights. And not even in Alaska, which was a pain, because then at 4 a.m. we went to bed, and we had to get up like 7 again or so, and the kids were mad that we were so tired, and that was something. The Northern Lights in Alaska, I can recommend those, especially in May. All right. Thomas Gerard, do you listen, watch, or our Ludicrous Future? Yes, I do. Ludicrous Future is awesome. Biggest problem with the Ludicrous Future is sometimes they talk for 2 hours, which in my opinion is too long because I don't have that much time. But I always try to listen, and it's the same thing with Tomorrow, if you know those, TMRO. Brilliant content, but it's like 2 hours, and I don't have the time for it. But yeah, Ludicrous Future, Ben Sullins, Joe Scott, and Everyday Astronaut, right? And they are all three of them are awesome in what they're doing, and so yeah, I can recommend those definitely. That's a good show. Thank you. Deathness Guy, thank you very much for the super chat. Greetings from Holland. I didn't miss it. Yes. Thank you very, very much, and thanks for the support, for being a patron. It is much appreciated, and without you guys, this show wouldn't work. as I say on the end of every episode, it's amazing how much support I get from you guys. Thank you very much. Thomas Gerard, many providers are working with NASA on the gateway. Yeah, I know, but the main contractor, is it Northrop Grumman or is it Boeing? There is a main contractor on it, isn't there? At least I think there is. You got it, Felix. I'll stay up just for you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry. The different time. I'm the least fan of time zones you can basically get, because I have to deal with that all the time. All the people that watch What About It come from any imaginable place on the planet, basically. If I look into the backend, into the YouTube analytics, they are from everywhere, literally. And so I I get comments, I get messages and all that kind of stuff around the clock. And it would be so nice if everybody would start at 8 a.m. in the morning and stop at, like, let's say 6 in the evening or something. But no, time zones make it possible so that people can reach me all around 24/7 basically. So yeah, time zones. Hate those, definitely. Base, sea base. The landing on irregular surface, not flat, will be a big problem. Could a starship with a toroidal shape be possible? Toroidal shape? I don't know the English word. The problem with landing on uneven surfaces is that you either need a landing gear that can cope is not the word I'm looking for, compensate for it, or you need a landing pad. And I think number 2 is the much better solution. In my opinion, the first starships going anywhere, to the moon or Mars, should bring 3D printers to build landing pads. Because a landing pad that can compensate for uneven terrain and all that kind of stuff is bigger, heavier, needs to be much more complex. If you have a landing pad, you can just touch down with a simple landing gear and that's it. So there are spots even on the moon and on Mars. SpaceX has already said, or there was it a leak? I think it was a dissertation or something from a scientist, where we know already what spots SpaceX is looking at for landing a Starship on Mars, and they're all pretty flat. So that shouldn't be a problem. And the same thing on the moon. You can find spots that are pretty flat. But on the moon, you have the problem with the regolith and the low G. On Mars, you have pretty low G as well. And it's just much better with a landing pad. So the first task, in my opinion, should be to build landing pads. Definitely. All right. I just saw it's canceled and scrubbed. Exactly. So today it's scrubbed. I hope you're not talking about tomorrow. Let me just check the latest here if SpaceX has said anything else. No, it's just standing down from today. Due to strong upper level winds, next launch opportunity for anybody who wants to write it down is tomorrow at 9:28 a.m. Eastern Standard or 14:28 UTC. UTC is the same as GMT for the Europeans. And I'm definitely going to stream again tomorrow, of course, because we don't want to miss this. We're halfway there to a Starlink system that can go operational, which is insane after such a short time. Basically, it's one of those Elon projects. In the beginning, when he announces this, everybody's laughing, and then after a while, nobody's laughing anymore. And with Starlink, we have the same effect right now with the telecommunication businesses all around the planet, basically not laughing anymore. It's just insane what he's doing there, what SpaceX is doing. These people rock, and we're gonna do a stream again tomorrow. Yeah, and as every time my moderators are telling me I'm supposed to say schnitzel and I'm supposed to say Gwynny, because that is something that I did wrong in the beginning because I didn't know how to correctly pronounce Gwyn Shotwell, and I always said Gwynny. So there you go again. When are you gonna stop this? All right, everybody. I'm going to wrap this up now because we've been going for good 1.5 hours without a launch now. I'm going to do another launch tomorrow, another stream tomorrow. And I'm going to set that up like in just in the next 30 minutes or so. So you should get a reminder if you've hit the bell, and if you're subscribed to the channel, you should get the reminder right after. If you still miss it, check my Twitter at Felix Schlang. Maybe the moderators can put that in again there. And 24-hour live stream. Nope. We're not going to do a 24-hour live stream. The most insane I've done before was 5 hours with the Elon Musk Starship presentation. I ended the live stream 6 in the morning. I started at 1 a.m. and I stopped at 6 a.m. and I was dead. So I don't drive a Tesla. No, I don't have the money yet. If as soon as I can afford a Tesla, I'm going to drive a Tesla. But send me super chats so I can afford it, because these are pretty expensive. All right, like I said, I'm going to wrap it up now. As always, I'm going to leave the music running for another 15 minutes roughly, so you can keep chatting. And after that, I'll set up the new stream for tomorrow, and I hope to see you again tomorrow, because tomorrow the chances are much higher that we can actually see a launch. So thank you very, very much for joining the stream. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next episode in 1 hour and 5 minutes on the channel. Bye-bye.
Everywhere you go, light follows. Everywhere you go, light follows. Light follows. Follows. Everywhere you go, light follows. Follows.